Well, hello everyone. I promised to provide you a video that would share with you the things I learned from my father when I was a kid on how to make codes that are unbreakable. And all it requires are a couple simple things and the ability to do some addition and subtraction. So I encourage you to take a look and to try this out with your family and have some fun. So 3 parts to this particular code. One is your basic code, which turns your letters into numbers. The main thing is what you want to communicate, your message. What do you want to say? In this particular case, it's going to be, peace be with you. I didn't hear your response. Peace be with you. And also with you. Yes, that's it. So the message is, peace be with you. And then your encryption key, which is a text or a set of randomly generated numbers. And in this particular case, we're going to do the first 3 words from Genesis and from John's Gospel, which are in the beginning in English. So basic code, encryption key, message. This is how it goes. Here's a basic code. A is 01, B is 02, C is 03, D is 04, E 05, F 06, G 07, H, what do you think H would be? I think somebody said 08. You'd be right. I would be 09. J would be 10. And you'd work your way all the way down to Z, which would be 26. Now, if you wanted to include punctuation marks and spaces in your coding system, you could. Not exactly necessary, but that's the basic code. You think, well, that's not that complicated. And you'd be correct. That part's not complicated. And it's certainly breakable. Just dealing with a long enough code by letter frequency. E is the most common letter in the alphabet that we use in our spelling of words. So you could start to figure things out working through something like that. However, that's why we've got an encryption key. You take your basic code and then you take your message. Again, the message is peace be with you, and you look at your code chart and you put in the numbers for each of those letters. P is 16, W is 23, Y is 25. You put them all in there, and so for the rest of this in this light blue, the message numbers will be highlighted. And then you take your encryption key, whatever text you choose. And this is something you only share with the person who's getting your message. No one else can know it. That's the top secret part of this. You can use a different encryption key for conversation with every different person. And if you're really going to be special, super top secret, you use a different encryption key for every single message. Whoa. That's a little more difficult because people on both ends of the message have to have the key. So in this case, in the beginning is lined out, and use the same number chart to create your number values. Then to get your coded message, which is highlighted in yellow here, you add together your message and the encryption key. So 16 plus 09 is 25. 05 plus 14 is 19. 01 plus 20 is 21. Simple addition. You don't borrow or carry or go outside of your 2-digit column. That's one of the rules here. Now you can also do something really different, which would be false addition and false subtraction, where you don't borrow or carry at all. So for an example here, in the first column, you have 16 plus 09 equals 25. If you were doing false addition or subtraction, you would not borrow or carry. So you would first do that column, 6, 9. The sum of that is 15, but you only write down the 5. You don't carry the 1. And so on the other column, the numbers are 1 and 0, and you're not carrying the 1, so the answer is 15 and not 25. You say, well, that's weird. That's false addition. You got to remember that. And the false subtraction would work in reverse. You would take 15 and you would subtract 09 from that, but you would just be doing the 5, taking 5 minus 9. And to do that, you borrow an imaginary 1 to make that 15 minus 9 to get your 6. So you still end up with the same results using false addition and false subtraction. It just changes the way you do your math. So again, this is part of your super secret thing. The person that you're sharing this coded message with has to be doing math the same way you're doing it. So you can have some fun with that. That's the encryption process. When they get the message, they have to decrypt it. And So you start out with the coded message, and you subtract the encryption key, and you get your final message, which says, peace be with you. Now, why in the world are we talking about unbreakable codes? Because in today's Bible text, one of the stories is the story of a woman who takes leaven, which would be like sourdough starter, and hides it in 3 measures, which would be 40 to 60 pounds of flour. Tons and tons of flour. Wow. But the word for hide in Greek is encrypto, from which we get encrypt. So as you play around with making a code for your brother or your sister or your friend or your dad or whoever it is you do it with, and I did these first with my father, as you play around with making a code like this, imagine what it is for the woman in Jesus' story to encrypt, secret agent style, all that leaven in 60 pounds of flour. And what happens to the message when you do that? And the bread rises, and it goes into the oven, and you smell it, and you just can't stay away. Maybe your codes will be that successful. Anyway, love you all. Have fun with it, and thanks for joining me.